Right, hi guys. This is Truman Hudson, and today what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you guys, the newer versions of the publication 4491W and also the publication 4012. And by new version, I actually mean the 2011 version. Now, for everyone that has already attended our training sessions, they should have already gotten a copy of the 2010 edition. Now, one thing I want you guys to make note of is that there aren't many differences between the 2010 and 2011 version. However, if you do want to take the exam, usually they based it off of some of the questions in the 2011 version of the books. So if you guys want to come in and get yourself a copy of the latest edition, feel free. We do have supplies. We have boxes and boxes of them. So again, whenever you guys have a chance, if you want to, you can always come in, request, and it will be given to you. Okay. Now, for those who haven't gotten any materials already, I'm just going to go over what the books are for and what you can use each of them for. Now, right here, this is a PDF copy of the publication 4491W. And this book is pretty much where you can practice some basic exercises and problems based on whatever you've learned throughout the different sessions or on your own if you've been doing some research. Just scrolling down here, I'm going to kind of go to what a typical return would look like. Alright, so the first problem that you can do in the 2011 version is actually the Rose-Hudson exercise. Now, this is also the same exercise that is in the 2010 version, which just kind of shows us the great similarities that both of them have. So again, if you guys do have the older version, don't feel as though you're at a disadvantage in terms of understanding anything or learning anything. It's pretty much the same stuff except for a few minor changes in some of the exercises. Now again, in the publication 4491W, what you find are exercises which are supposed to mimic what a typical client would present to you, and how you'd have to kind of sift through the information given to complete your return. It starts off by showing you what the client intake sheet looks like, which is going to be it right here. The client intake sheet, it has stuff such as first name, last name, are you a US citizen, gives you the mailing address of the client. These are things that typically your client would be writing down for you before you'd even get into the return. That way you can just kind of have an overview of everything that's going to be happening or what you're going to be dealing with, whether you can actually deal with it, and if you can, who will you assign it to, because maybe sometimes after reviewing some of the client's documents, you realize this person might be a little bit more advanced than just your average basic preparer, so you kind of want to assign that to somebody that's at a higher level. Alright, so in addition to the basic information right here, there's also the marital status and household information. As you can see right here, you have single, married, divorced, and widowed. In this example, this person has checked off that she is single. Right here is where they would typically put in their dependents. However, in this case, this person does not have a dependent, so that is why you see it blank. The next section is pretty much like a summary of what kind of income and expenses and documents that the client has that you're going to be dealing with. In this case, you notice that they have checked off that they have wages and salaries, and they also have interest, dividends. So right off the bat that your client, whoever you're going to be giving this client to, has to be able to know how to deal with the different things checked off over here. Now, one thing to make note of is that not in all cases the client might check off things that actually apply to them, and this only applies to when you're actually working, not in the problems. Whatever you see here in the book, you can pretty much go with whatever they give to you, but when you're actually working, sometimes you may have a case where a client might check something off when they don't, they might have mistaken it for something else, so it was the wrong thing, or they might not have checked it off, not realizing that they do also have one of those documents. So you always want to double check with your clients to say, is this really everything? Is there anything else? Can you show me what you have? That way you yourself can kind of review it, and just make sure that your client is up to date and up to speed with everything that's going on. Alright. Okay, so let's get down here a little bit more. You don't have to worry about pages 3 and 4. This stuff is usually for people of the higher standards. Like after the preparer gets through it, it's gonna go through your reviewer, then your second reviewer. So for the basic preparation, you guys don't have to worry about 3 and 4. This section you can just completely overlook, but you definitely want to make sure to get through pages 1, which is this one right here, that has the personal information and marital status, and you also want to get through pages 2, which is summary of your income, expenses, and your life events. Life events mean things such as, do you have a debt from mortgage, do you have a health savings account, etc., etc. Alright, now going down a little bit more, it also, in your practice exercises, it'll also give you a copy of your client's social security card, which your client typically wouldn't have to have unless they're a returning client and they already have their information saved in the system. It gives you a copy of the different incomes and expenses that your client has. Now in this case, you notice that in this person's W-2, it gives you their wages, their federal income tax withheld, etc., etc. Now one thing to make note of is that earlier I said that this and the 2010 version were the exact same thing. I might have to correct that a little bit. Exact same thing in terms of the naming, but in terms of the numbers, they've changed it up a little bit. The circumstances, they've also changed it up a little bit. Here in this version, you notice that she's making over 30 grand for the entire year from just her W-2. In the older version, she was making under 10,000. So they have made some adjustments in terms of the numbers. Maybe they figure by doing this, it tests more rather than how it was before. So again, if you guys do want to come in and get this new copy, test this one out, try your luck with this, just to make sure that you do get everything. We have it there for you. It's just a matter of you coming in and getting it. Alright. It's another copy of her income, and etc., etc. So moving on, it's going to be pretty much the same thing. This is going to be exercise 2 in this one. In the older version, the second exercise, I don't think the person's name was Mary Beringer. I think it could have been Charlotte Cunningham or Odessa Parks. I'm not really sure exactly, but I know that this person's name was not Mary Birmingham. So this is again another change between the older version and newer version. Alright, so this is pretty much just an overview of the 4491W. Just to recap, it's the book that tests that you can test your knowledge that you've earned or gained, or research, whatever it is. If you went to classes, if you probably just been reading on your own, and you kind of want to test to see how you can apply this stuff to real life situations, this is the best place to start. Hop in here, look over this stuff, try your luck. If it doesn't work out, if you guys don't feel confident in your answer, you can always email us. You can always ask us questions. Our email is vitalrecruiting2012@gmail.com. We're always there to answer your questions. Alright, now moving on to the next publication, we have the publication 4012, which is right here. Now in this one, this book is pretty much a guide to show you how to use TaxWise, which is the software that we use to prepare taxes at the Your College Vita site. So it's split up pretty much into 2 sections. Now the sections that it's split up to, you can't see it here because this is a PDF copy, but when you do have the hard copy, it comes with tabs on the sides of the book. Now for the yellow tabs shows you pretty much what each of the pages mean. What the deductions are, what the deductions mean, taxable income, what do the credits mean, stuff like that. So it's pretty much more about the tax knowledge itself and not necessarily how to operate the program. So if you guys ever have a question in terms of, does this person qualify for, earned income credit, what should their filing status be, it pretty much just kind of goes through that stuff for you. So if you ever want to double check anything, the first place you always go back to is your publication 4012. Alright, it gives you tips and guides how to handle returns, what you should be looking out for, stuff like that. So you definitely want to always refer back to this whenever you have questions. Whenever you're going to be on site, we will be providing everybody with a copy. That way, when you're dealing with your client, if you come across anything that you're not sure about, first thing that you should do is go to the book. If you go to the book and you realize, you're still kind of unsure, you can always call on one of your coordinators that are going to be moving around to help you guys. Alright, now that's for the yellow tabs. Now the blue tabs, it actually shows you how to operate tax-wise, meaning it shows you how to link forms. It shows you how to start a new return. It shows you how to find an older return. It shows you how to add forms in there, how to run diagnostics, etc., etc. So if you come across a problem where you realize it's not so much a tax issue where you don't really understand the information that you have, but it's more of the program giving you problems. Like, let's say you know that this client has a 1099 dividend statement. You want to add in that income for them, however you don't know how to add that form in. Again, publication 4012 will have all the information for you. It's going to let you know. You go to add form, you type in schedule B, it populates for you, you click on it, you go to the form, and from there it's just a matter of entering in the income. The book has all that stuff for you, so you guys don't have to worry, you guys don't have to feel unsure of yourself at any point in time, because you will always have the materials needed for you to get through any return thrown at you. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the two publications that we mainly use here. Again, if you guys have any questions, whenever you guys want to come and pick up a copy of the new materials, it's just a matter of heading over to your college. You can stop by the department, let the secretary know. They'll send you upstairs. All of our materials are upstairs at the VITA site, which is on the 4th floor. So you guys definitely want to stop by there, check it out, and get yourselves a new copy, because I would recommend getting it for the actual certification exam, since usually what they do is they take some of the problems from the book and they give you that in the actual exam. So what that means is that the older version, even though you might have been able to do those right off the bat, you won't find any of those in the new exam unless it still matches with the newer version problem, meaning they didn't change any numbers, didn't change the name, so you pretty much still have that same answer. But if you want to just practice with the newer one, I would recommend that. Come in, get yourself a copy of the new materials, and yeah. Alright, so thank you guys for listening. If you guys have any other questions, just a reminder, if you guys do want to practice, the site to go to is going to be voltaxprep.com right here. It's right up here, and only use this in Internet Explorers. Other browsers tend to give you a little bit of issues here and there, so if you want to guarantee the least amount of technical difficulties, you definitely want to go to Voltax Prep on Internet Explorer. The password is going to be learn2, LEARNTWO, and it's just a matter of logging in there, creating your user ID. I'm not going to be getting into all the steps because there's already another video for that, but this is just a quick reminder for you guys. So if it's your first time watching a video, if it's this might be the first one watching all the other ones, you already know where to start. Alright guys, so thanks for listening, and I hope it was helpful.